Casino, Indian Casino, east of San Diego, maybe 15 miles from center of San Diego. Brand new. I called the poker room, put my name on 1-2 list. They don't have any other game. Look at all those colors. No, that's not Picasso. That's carpet at Jamul Casino. It's so jazzy. I love it so much. It's so alive. Look at that. There is some special feeling when you walk into casino. You feel like a hot shot, high roller. Even you're gonna play 1-2 game. They just started the one game, 2-3 no limit. I'm on a list second. There are 10 tables and nice, everything new, clean and modern. So I registered, I got a player's card. I'm first on a 2-3 limit, no limit list and 1-2 no limit. There's only 2 tables. We'll see how it works. But I like the place. It's so new and pretty.
Oh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000, 10, 20, 30.
All right. Okay. All right then. See you.
See you. Have a good
Bye-bye. So it's 4 in the morning. I'm leaving. It was dynamic session. I was stuck, and then I got lucky, and I'm unstuck. Altogether, I'm happy. These casinos here, Jamul and Siquan, they like every week give away Mercedes or Lexus. Here's Mercedes. They had those giveaways every week. So I call Uber. It's 4 in the morning. I need a ride. The Uber guy just dropped me, and everybody's sleeping, and it's so quiet here. I have to tell you, this game was something special. Well, I was unlucky, and they had some luck, you know. Then it turned around at the right moment, at 3 in the morning. I'm unstuck, that's important. I'll tell you the hands tomorrow. You can only hear some birds and some, who knows, some animals. Some squeaking and chirping. This is cool. All right, good night or good morning to you. It's another day. It's fresh, 60 degrees and it's almost noon. I slept till 10. And then for next hour and a half, I just couldn't move. Then I had coffee. And now, to tell you the rest of the story. So it started last night with me calling the Lyft. I hate using the word Uber because I really even don't have Uber app. I just use Lyft. But more people use the word Uber no matter what company they call. So it was Lyft. And that's a tricky thing here. You call them, and if you're lucky to have signal, you connect. And then you lose the signal. But stay on that spot and drive, wow, attack. If you stay on that spot, the driver will find you because they may have a better signal. I was waiting at the gate, front gate, and Sarah, the lovely Lyft driver from San Diego, came to pick me up. Casino is maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 miles from here, and a ride is like $11. So if I win 100, I didn't win 100, I'm only up $70 because transportation was 30. I arrived over there, and after, seeing the casino, really pretty nice, modern, clean, new, set in a 2-3 game, 300 maximum buy-in. They already had like couple guys with $500-600 stacks, and later during the night that built up to most of the people having 600-700. I started really bad, so I started with 300, had rebuy of 200, so now I have I'm 500 into a game, and nothing is going my way. There are some nights when everything is floating, everything is like so smooth, no matter what you do, it's gonna work. But this was, I already had a feeling in the beginning, this is the night when nothing works. And when I'm gonna get stuck 900, and by 2 a.m. I'm gonna have pocket kings, I'm gonna go all in, hoping to double up, and actually I'm gonna lose. I had those nights like that. Oh, I can recognize it, I smell it in the air. So I was sitting at the table feeling really stupid. I mean, nobody likes to lose, but when you feel that you're hopeless, that there's nothing going your way, it's really awful feeling. I'm in the game for 500, and I get pocket queens. The guy on my right, really tight guy, he just started, so he didn't have much more. He maybe had 380. Guy next to him, on his right, is Yusuf. He's from Iraq, and it's interesting, there were two of them, and they talk in Arabic language, and they're both from Iraq, but they're Catholics from Iraq. And there's a name for that, because when I ask them from where they are, who they are, they use that word. It starts with, sounds like K, maybe it's C, but some derivation of Catholics, which becomes almost like ethnic group in Iraq. So Yusuf, when he came, he was really aggressive, and he's a key later into my story. He was really aggressive and started pre-flop, 27 every hand, straddle, on a button and under the gun. When we limp for just $6, then he goes raise 27. Every hand, every time. So it became a little bit expensive playing with him. His raise of 27 and the guy next to me called 27. And all those limpers, there's like $70-80 in a pot. I, for no reason, decided to go all in. I was out of position. I was a big blind, and I knew if I, on the flop, with some ace or king, I check, Yusuf is gonna bet 100, and I had to fold my queens. So I thought even stealing this about $70-80 is good enough. Everybody folds, but the guy on my right, I think it's Joe, he looked at me, like giving me a serious look, like what's going on, and took him a while, but he called. Flop was jack high, but 3 clubs. Turn is a club, and river is the club. I show my queen of clubs, Joe shows king of clubs. Rebuy. I added another 200, that is 700, and I had the feeling it's the night when I'm gonna be in the game for 900 and I'm gonna feel the pain the next day, which would be right now. I decided to change the game, stop chasing straights and flushes that cost me a lot, and little by little I start building up my stack. Nothing significant. I was waiting for the game to come to me, so that when I have that feeling, when I'm floating like in some jello and everything is smooth and works. The game actually started really slow and boring. Yusuf changed the game with his $27 bets pre-flop, and then everybody became a little bit loose. So I started there at 8:30, and the game was maybe going, if you have a graph, it's going this way, and then by 11 o'clock start going up, and then zoom like a rocket. It's like Elon Musk sending the rocket to Mars. So after 11 midnight, game became much looser and much bigger pots. Came Rosie, the prettiest Filipino girl I ever saw in my life. She's so pretty, like young Gina Lollobrigida, old Italian actress. Rosie started with $100. Later, she had one double up, he had one more, And then she left with $700. So she built from 100 to 7. And I'm looking that I'm in the game for 700, and it's becoming a problem. So I still am about $300. In between, I had even pocket aces. I flopped an ace, and then the board paired, so I had a full house. Then Rosie started calling some guy from the other table from the 1-2 game. Vato, come over. Vato, come on. It's crazy game. Yusuf is gonna double you up. Vato is a really nice guy, Mexican from Monterrey, born around Monterrey, he said. And he likes action, plays like any 2 cards. Vato comes over. He sits on the left side of Rosie, 2 seats from me. And first hand, he has pocket aces, and Yusuf doubles him up. Oh, we were screaming first hand. Vato is actually some Mexican word for like a dude or homie, something like that. And there's even a Mexican gang called in LA called Vatos Locos, and I read that they expanded their territory even to European Union, so they have non-Mexican gangs of Vatos Locos in Europe. There's even a movie, Blood In, Blood Out. Very nice movie. I like it a lot. That talks about members of that gang. Nice story. Excellent movie. If you find it, watch it. Older movie, 20 plus years old. So Vato suddenly is now 400 over and started creating action. Well, playing any 2 cards in a long run doesn't get you far. So he mostly lost of all his chips. I was still bored. And at one moment, people were talking about 7 deuce, and at that moment, I had a straddle on a button, and I look at 7 deuce of hearts suited. So there is 25 more. Yusuf called. On a flop, I bet 40. He folds. I show 7 deuce just because we're talking about it. Very next hand, I'm in a cutoff. I have 6-4. 6-4 spades suited. I make it 17 pre-flop. Only 1 caller. Dumb looking kid in a seat 1. Flop is king, queen, 8. He bets 20. I called without really a plan. There was only 1 spade on the flop. Turn was some irrelevant card. He bets 20, I go 115. Dumb looking kid folds. So I show again, 6-4. I said that may be good setting them up for later if I get again some queens or kings or... Well, basically I got queens again and lost again. I got that night pocket aces 3 times. Once I lost, but I don't think that I could do anything different. Several people called my pre-flop raise. A flop was queen, 10, 7. I bet nice. Vato calls. He's the only one. Turn is queen. I check. He bets 100. I fold. I show aces. Everybody goes, wow, nice laydown. Vato showed queen. He actually had queen jack. And no matter what I did pre-flop or on the flop, he's not folding that. Then comes the story of Yusuf. Really nice guy. Creates action, but he had like probably at least 3 or 4 rebuys. And he was getting frustrated. At one of his straddles, I had pocket 8s. I just limp call. He raised again to 27. I called that. It's only 2 of us in a hand, and flop was 8, 7, 7. Yusuf bets like 40. I called. On a turn, irrelevant card. Yusuf bets 60. I call. On a river, he goes all in. I call. He has ace 7. Bad beat and another rebuy. Well, not really bad beat, but unfortunate situation. He's not calling. He's not folding that 7 for anything.
in that moment, hoping to get lucky after all those ribeyes. Well, here's another ribeye. 15, 20 minutes later, I have a queen 9 and somehow I get stuck in a hand. I wouldn't play that, but probably there was no raise. I was on a blind, the big blind. Flop was king jack 10. Again, I'm in the hand with Yusuf. We managed to go all in. Turn is 4, river is 8. He has king, queen, and I double up again through him. So right now I have about $760. It's 2:30 in the morning and I am satisfied. I have my money back and I have even for the Uber ride. So I'm planning already how to leave. Comes young guy, a little beard, but really young. Sits next to me and Rosie starts talking something about him, like you should be aware of, how he plays. He has the hoodie with, over his face, and one of those that watch too much poker on TV. I'm on the button and I straddle because the whole night we were straddling under the gun and on the button regular straddle. Bunch of limpers come to this kid. He raises 26. It goes over me and small big blind and other people have to call his 26 and then it's my turn. So there was actually 2 callers. So pot is now close to $100. I look at my hand. I have a ace queen off. What do I do with that? He's 26. Does he have a big pair? Does he have ace king? Based on what Rosie said, he's a solid player. So I decided I had to test that. So I bet 100. Pot is close to 100, so I bet pot size bet. He thinks for a while and then he calls. Nobody else. Flop is queen 10 3. He checks. I look at his chips. He has about 250, 260. I don't know, is he trapping me with something, kings, or is he on some kind of ace king draw? So I know by the river all his chips are gonna be in, so better now than when it's too late. I said all in. Took him 5-6 seconds. He called. Turn is another 10 and the river is 6. I show ace queen. He didn't show. I get nice pot. I have over $1,000, 1,100. I played another 15 minutes. I called the lift and off into night. Good session, exciting, a lot of ups and downs, but the finish was important. It got me unstuck and a profit of $340, $50. If you're ever in San Diego area, try the Jamul. It's just east, maybe 15 miles from San Diego. It's a really nice place, modern looking, and what I heard from the people that play there, the attitude of people that come is marvelous. Everybody's friendly, there's no arguments, there's no noise and yelling like in some other poker rooms. So really pleasant playing there. So for now, my poker tour is really successful. We'll see what's in the future. Adios. Vatos Locos forever. Vatos Locos, they have some kind of gang symbol sign showing VL. You even didn't know that Mr. Spock from Star Trek was a member of Vatos Locos because his signal, VL. Mr. Spock was Vato Loco.